Happy Saturday. Sorry that I missed last week. I have family visiting in town. They have been here all of June and will be here until the first week of July. And very cool to see them. So I've been doing things with them. I also had 3 writers' meetings the week that this would have come out. And that Saturday morning, I met with a lady who runs a pop-up bookstore in my area called Birdie Bookstore, and she bought 1 copy of each of my books, so that's really cool. So that was 5 sales right there. So I'm sure you understand that life gets in the way sometimes, and that's why I didn't put out a video last week. But we'll go back to every other week again. This one, unfortunately, is not going to be a scary story, or maybe fortunately, if you like something else variety on this channel. I am putting an illustration video. This will be my second one, I believe, that I've done, because last one was for St. Patrick's Day. This one I did for Cinco de Mayo. It was just a little parakeet. It had a taco body. I wanted to do something kind of fun, I guess. I had done a burrito pug several years ago as a prompt that I saw online, and wanted to do something kind of similar but not be cliche, so didn't want to do a cat next. And I have 1 dog, 2 cats, and 2 parakeets, so I decided my next animal, parakeet, instead. And I wanted to also push myself and see if I could draw one, which I could. I drew 2, which was really neat. To myself, I was very proud. I didn't think I would even draw one very well. Yeah, anyways. Sorry, I'm reading notes to myself. See if I missed anything else. And I don't think that's it. Hope you enjoy the video, and let me know what you think, and I will see you again in 2 weeks. This video gets to be a twofer. I'm showing illustration I did of a parakeet, and one I dubbed Taco-keet because I'm clever and original. So I grabbed a scrap piece of paper, put up a picture of one of my parakeets on the PC screen because I need something to look at even though I freehand. So I chose a cute little picture of my bird, Patchwork, did a little quick sketch of him, and was really surprised that, hey, I can draw a parakeet. So I decided to draw another bird. And this one I did Taco-keet. I gave him a little taco wing, but then I was like, he looks a little boring with just the taco wing because he looks like a normal parakeet. I need to give him a little bit something else. So then I looked up pictures of what goes with tacos, like what are usually like side things with it. But I was also trying to make it mold to the body of a parakeet, and there were quite a lot of pictures that had limes in them. So I did a little lime body of him to go with this little taco wing. Once my sketch was done, I snapped a picture of each of the drawings of the normal parakeet and Taco-keet, and I loaded them into Ibis Paint, which is an app I have on my phone. I worked on Taco-keet first because Cinco de Mayo was the next day. I'm such a procrastinator. I began working on the digital version by sketching over the lines I drew, including moving the tomato closer to the branch because I didn't want it to look like he was pooping something out. I just wanted things falling out of his wing. Once everything was inked over, I hid the bottom layer because it was distracting me. Next, I colored in the lime using an airbrush pen. It's my go-to. I erased all the green outside of the lines and added white highlights to the lime, giving it that citrus look. I colored all the yellow bits in next, followed by the rest of the green, picking a slightly different shade than I used for the lime. I then spend time erasing the color outside of the lines. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I like to color a huge swath using the airbrush pen, and then I'll go back and erase colors I don't need. I know it's tedious, but if I keep coloring over an area using the airbrush pen, it tends to just darken the spot that I go over, which ruins the transparent look that I want, and also the way that the airbrush kind of naturally shades when I go over stuff. A shade isn't the right word. Like, it just gives a little depth. Some places are a little lighter and some places are a little darker. And I just kind of like that look, and if I keep going over it, it tends to ruin what I'm going for. I gave Taco-keet a green nose, which is not a color that parakeets have, because I wanted to keep the color palette that I was using. The tomatoes and the red tail feather were next, followed by the brown for the rest of the bird. I added some feather lines to the head, and now I'm erasing things that I didn't need. I then lightened the hat and the tail feathers, adding more yellow-brown to the taco shell. I changed out the eye to make it look a little bit more like an actual parakeet eye and not like Taco-keet was demonic, because it was kind of scaring me. It would work if it was for my horror stories, but not for this illustration. For the background, I chose some festive colors, or thought I did, but they looked too dull for me at first take. So then I spent longer than necessary tweaking the filter settings on that layer until the colors were vibrant and didn't clash with the drawing. I think the illustration turned out quite nice. I'm actually proud of it, and I finished it just in time for Cinco de Mayo. I waited a few weeks before I started working on the original drawing, even though I did them both in the same day. But I always planned on going back and doing a digital version of the actual parakeet, but I wanted to get Taco-keet done first and out of the way. For the parakeet drawing, I decided not to do solid lines for the outline of the body like I did with Taco-keet, but instead did short, quick little lines in the color of the bird, i.e. its feathers. My parakeets are teal, and the other one is yellow-green. But when I was a child, I had a parakeet named Pookie, and he was blue, so I chose blue for this one. I chose a blue nose for this little parakeet because, fun fact, blue and purple noses are males, and if they're pink or like a brown pink, then they're a female. And it takes several months for their nose color to start coming in. Anywho, on to adding details to the head and wings. Now to give the little bird an eye, beak, and feet. A quick trace of the branch before I begin coloring the head. And I'm not ashamed to admit that I had to look at my parakeets along with pictures of budgies online to see how their colored markings are. I wasn't entirely sure how their heads and stuff were colored. I know that as children, I guess, under the age of 1, they have a lot of black lines or darker lines across their head, and as they get a little older, that recedes and they get more of a solid colored head. Once the base white was added, I colored the branch before going over the white in the wings with a little light gray. I wanted to give it a little pop to the feathers. Next I applied the blue, followed by erasing, because it works for me and I'm stubborn. For the parakeet, I found it much easier to choose a background color with more of a solid blue bird than a taco-colored bird. But because I use the airbrush pen, any color that I choose in the background layer bleeds through, which just means more erasing for me. One day I might learn a different technique that works for me. After I was done, I cropped the drawing and called it finished. But it turned out very cute. And it's very quiet compared to the two boys that I have. They peep a lot, and their songs and jibber jabber was used in the background of this video. It was super easy to record them making a whole bunch of noise. In fact, it's harder trying to record in my house and having the birds quiet. Well, I hope you liked seeing my process. Both illustrations are up on my Instagram page if you want to check it out, under Cannibal Bananas, one word. Anywho, that's it. I will see you in 2 weeks with another story from No Hope Beyond This Point. Bye!